PPT. Yes. Is my screen is visible? Someone unmute yourself and
Sir.
respond. Is
Yes,
my
sir.
screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mute yourself. Okay, ma. Mute. All of you mute yourself. Okay. All of you mute yourself. Okay. This class is someone is making noise. Please mute yourself. This class is the antennas and wave propagation. This is the core subject in your third year, first semester. Myself, Dr. KCT Swami, the course coordinator. So this subject is very important subject, and the content uh, that we are going to study in this subject is related to our daily life, because in our daily life we have been using these antennas. First, let us try to understand the meaning of the subject, that is antennas and wave propagation. Antennas and wave propagation. What is meant by antenna? The antenna is the new term actually for you people, because you already studied the communication subjects in your second year. The one communication subject is analog communication systems. So if you observe any communication system, so in any communication system, there will be one transmitter, one receiver. So in between the transmitter and receiver, you will be having a medium. So if you see the wide communication system, in wide communication system, the transmitter and receiver will be connected through a conducting wire or transmission lines. So if the transmitter and receiver are widely separated, if the transmitter and receiver are widely separated, then we cannot connect the transmitter and receiver with the wires, because it is very difficult if the transmitter and receiver are separated by a long distance. So then there is a need to transmit the information from the transmitter to the user or the receiver without any wires or transmission lines. So in such case, we cannot send the signals, or we cannot send the voltages and currents. Then we need to send the information in the form of radio waves or electromagnetic waves. So to generate these electromagnetic waves, or to receive the electromagnetic waves, we need antennas. So the communication system, without any wire or without any transmission line between the transmitter and receiver, is called wireless communication. In that wireless communication, we need antennas at the transmitting end as well as at the receiving end. So that is the importance of the antenna in wireless communications. And the overall, we can tell like this. So in order to establish a wireless communication system between the 2 points, we need antenna. We need a device. That device name is called antenna. So next, let us try to understand the second term of our subject, our course, that is wave propagation. So in wireless communications, the antenna that is connected at the transmitter will radiates the radio waves. It radiates the radio waves. The study of the radio waves propagation or transmission in the atmosphere medium is called wave propagation. This wave propagation term, it deals with the study of radio wave propagation in atmosphere. So we already know the atmosphere consists the different layers. Broadly, we can say the three layers. So the wave propagation in those atmospheric layers will be studied in wave propagation. Okay, I think it is clear. I think I conveyed the meaning of the course, that is antennas and wave propagation. Okay, someone from the CRs, Sahiti. Sahiti,
Yes, sir.
is it clear, ma? The meaning of course title, antennas and wave propagation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, ma. Okay, ma. Next, I'm moving to the actual class. So in the first class, this is our first class, right? So in our this first class, I will introduce the course antennas and wave propagation. So this class is organized as a two parts. In the first part, we will discuss about the course structure, antennas and wave propagation course structure. So in that course structure, we will see about the course overview. We will see about the course overview, course syllabus, and course outcomes. This is the first part of the today's class. In the second part of the today's class, we will discuss about the what is antenna, where the antenna is used, and how the antenna is used, different types of antennas, applications of the antennas, and then a brief history how the antennas subject is evolved, that we will see at the last. Okay, let us take one by one. In course structure, the first one is course overview. This course overview tells you about the course, a brief information about the course. So as I explained just now, this antenna will plays a key role in wireless communication system. So for suppose if you want to establish a wireless communication between any 2 points, wireless communication means the communication between the 2 points without any physical connection. So if you want to establish such type of communication, that is wireless communication, then you need the antenna. So as a electronics and communication engineers or graduates, so we need to study a course exclusively on antennas and along with the wave propagation. So in this present course, that is antennas and wave propagation, we will cover the different parameters of the antenna and construction and design specifications of different antennas and antenna arrays, VHF antennas arrays that are used for different applications, because based on the frequencies, VHF frequency, UHF and microwave frequencies. So this course also provides some basic knowledge on the wave propagation. That means the radio wave propagation in different layers of the atmosphere. Okay, so the knowledge that provided by this class, that will be useful for understanding and designing of any practical antennas. So, in order to understand this particular subject, antennas and wave propagation, you need some fundamental knowledge on, on electromagnetics and transmission lines. So this is the course prerequisites because you must know some fundamentals. What is electric field? What is magnetic field? Like that, you must have some knowledge. So if you have some basic knowledge of electromagnetics and transmission lines, then you will be easily understand this particular subject, that is antennas and wave propagation. Okay. Whereas coming to the course structure, in the course structure syllabus. So if you see the syllabus, we are having total 5 units. The first, each color indicates 1 unit. In the first unit, we will study about the antenna basics. So in this first unit, we will study about the radiation mechanism of an antenna and basic antenna parameters. So after that, we will see and we will try to understand the radiation, how an electric dipole or quarter wave monopole antennas radiates the energy and what are the field components so that are there in the radiated energy and what is the power and radiation resistance, that we will see in the first unit. Whereas in the second unit, we will study about the helical antenna and horn antennas. So helical antennas and horn antennas, their construction as well as design, we will see in the second unit. So in third unit, we will see or we will study about the reflector antennas. Reflector antennas. In that, we will concentrate more on parabolic reflector antennas and its feeding methods. As in the second part of the third unit, we will study about the microstrip antennas. These are very, very important because these microstrip antennas we use in our mobile phones wherever. If the device, communication device is very, very small, then definitely that device, communication device will use the microstrip antenna. So these are the very, very important antennas nowadays. The next one, in the fourth unit, we will study about the antenna arrays. So in antenna arrays, for certain applications, someone making noise, please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. So in fourth unit, we will see about the antenna arrays. So for certain applications, instead of using one antenna, we must use the more than one antennas. So more than one antenna of similar kind is called antenna array. So that antenna arrays we will study in the fourth unit by considering 2 elements, 4 elements and n elements. So coming to the fifth unit, in the fifth unit, we will study about the wave propagation. How the electromagnetic wave or the radio wave propagates in the atmosphere layers, that is and sky wave propagation. So this is the syllabus that we will cover in our subject antennas and wave propagation. Okay. Next, coming to the books and materials related to this particular subject. So the textbook, what we are suggesting is antennas and wave propagation. The first one is the textbook, the antennas and wave propagation by John D. Cross and Ronald and Ahmad Khan. These are the three authors. This book is exclusively published for Indian. special Indian edition published in the year 2010. Okay, so you take this textbook. This textbook covers almost all the syllabus that we are going to cover in our course. So if you want any extra information, or if you want to refer more information related to this particular subject, then you go to reference books. Here we are suggesting three reference books. One is Jordan and Balamin, so electromagnetics and radiating systems. The second reference book is the Balanis, C.A. Balanis, Antennas Theory, Analysis and Design. And third reference book is the K.D. Prasad. K.D. Prasad and Satyaprakasan. So this is the Indian Author textbook. So these three are the reference books. The first one is textbook, John D. Cross. So all of you take the first textbook. It is mandatory for all of you. So remaining three reference books, if you want any extra information, you can refer in these three reference books. Okay. So after studying these antennas and wave propagation, so after the completion of this course, you all must be able to compare the performance of different antennas using antenna parameters, because the different antennas means, if you see in the syllabus, what are the different antennas you are going to study in this course? The dipole antennas, monopole antennas, these are the wire antennas, helical antenna, horn antenna, reflector antennas, and microstrip antennas. All these antennas performance, you can compare the performance of different antennas using antenna parameters after the completion of this course. You can do this. So coming to the second CO, you can analyze the dipole antenna and antenna arrays by computing the fields, radiated power, and radiation resistance. So you can analyze the performance of, here you can see in the first unit we are having dipole antenna. So the performance of this dipole antenna as well as antenna arrays, that is fourth chapter. So dipole antenna as well as antenna arrays performance, you can analyze by computing the parameters called the radiated power, radiation resistance, along with the fields, electric and magnetic fields radiated by the dipole and antenna arrays. So coming to the third CO, that is course outcome. So you will also be able to select the appropriate antenna for specific applications like TV broadcasting, AM FM radio, radars, and satellite links. So after studying all about all the antennas, you will be able to select, or you will be able to judge, or you will be able to decide which antenna is suitable for particular application. For suppose if you want to establish a communication link for AM FM radio, then you will be able to suggest, or you will be able to select the appropriate antenna for such application. So you will also be able to design the horn, helical, and reflector antennas for VHF, UHF, and microwave communication applications. That means you will be able to select the appropriate antenna, and also you will be able to design the antenna such as horn antenna, helical antenna, and reflector antennas for various applications, for various VHF, UHF, and other microwave communication applications. Finally, so you will be able to formulate the design equations for microstrip antennas for a given application. That means, so you will be able to analyze, or you will be able to develop the mathematical equations for the microstrip antenna that you are going to study in the third unit, second part, microstrip antennas. So these are the various of or 5 course outcomes of this particular course. So after completion of the course, you will be able to do all these 5 things. Okay. This is the about the uh, course structure, antennas and wave propagation. Okay. Sai Prakash, let me take one student, Sai Prakash. Sai Prakash, are you there? If you are there, unmute yourself and talk to me. Sai Prakash. Sai Prakash is not there. Krishna Teja.
Sir.
Krishna Teja. Who is speaking?
Sir.
Who is speaking? Krishna Teja or Sai Prasad? Sai Prakash. Krishna Teja.
Krishna Teja, sir. Yes, sir. Krishna Teja, sir.
Krishna Teja, are you able to hear my voice or my
Yes,
and
sir.
my PPT? Are you able to see my PPT?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, ma. So I think you all get some information related to this antennas and wave propagation course, right? What is the
Yes, sir.
syllabus we are going to cover, and what are the textbooks we have to follow, and what are the reference books we need to refer to get the information about this antennas and wave propagation. And
Yes, sir.
finally, what are the course outcomes? Course outcomes means after completion of this course, what you that means the students will be able to do the things. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear, Krishna Teja?
Yes, sir. Is it clear, sir?
I think it is clear. Shall we move to the actual content of the subject?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. So introduction. So in this part, as I said in the second slide, my class, this present class is divided into 2 parts. In the first part, I discussed about the course structure. That means about the course, what is the syllabus, and what are the textbooks we need to follow, and what are the books we need to refer, and what are the course outcomes that I discussed. The second part, I will just introduce about the antenna. So first, let us try to understand what is antenna. What is antenna? So antenna is defined as a metallic device for radiating or receiving radio waves. So the definition of the antenna is a metallic device for radiating or receiving the radio waves. So this metallic device, it may be a rod or wire. This definition was given by Webster's dictionary. Webster's dictionary. So this definition, after some time, this definition is modified as antenna is defined as a means for radiating or receiving radio waves. It is a means for radiating or receiving radio waves. So this definition was given by IEEE. I think you are all familiar with the term IEEE. So initially the definition for the antenna is a metallic device for radiating or receiving the radio waves. So radio waves is nothing but electromagnetic waves. You already studied in the second year, second semester about the electromagnetics, right? So a metallic device for radiating or receiving the electromagnetic waves. That definition, that is the definition of the antenna. So this definition is modified by IEEE. So according to the IEEE, the definition is a means for radiating or receiving radio waves. If you observe the difference between these two definitions, in the second definition, the term metallic device is not there in the second definition that is given by IEEE, because the reason is, so in the beginning of the invention of antenna, the antennas are used to construct using metals. So using metals. So that's why in the definition they mention antenna is a metallic device. After some time, the antennas are also making or constructing using other materials also. So not only metals, by using dielectric materials and other materials also using for constructing the antenna. So that is the reason in the second definition the term metallic device is removed. So as per the IEEE, antenna may be constructed by any material, but it means for radiating or receiving radio waves. Okay, I think it is very clear. Once again, I repeat, in the beginning, the definition of the antenna is a metallic device for radiating or receiving the radio waves. So in this definition, the term metallic device is used because in the beginning days of the antenna invention, the antennas are used to construct using metals. But after a few years, the antennas are also constructing started constructing using other materials also, using other materials. So that is the reason in the definition of the antenna that is given in the beginning, in the definition of the antenna, the term metallic device is removed and it is modified as a means for radiating or receiving radio waves. So this antenna may be constructed with any material. We don't bother, but it is means for radiating or receiving radio waves. This definition was given by IEEE. So simply we can say the antenna is a transitional device or transitional structure between the free space and guiding device. Or here you can see the transitional structure or transducer. The meaning of transitional structure or transducer means the transducer converts the energy from one form to another form. So this antenna is also a transducer, because if the antenna is used at the transmitter side, it converts the electrical signal into electromagnetic signal. If the antenna is used or connected at the receiver side, it converts the electromagnetic energy into electrical energy. It converts the energy from one form to another form. That is the reason we are calling the antenna as a transducer or transitional structure. So in this PPT, you can clearly see the symbols that we use to represent the antenna. This is one type of symbol. So second one and third one, we can use any type of the symbols to represent the antenna. Okay, now I think it is clear the definition of the antenna. So the next one is now we know the antenna definition. as a metallic device or the means for radiating or receiving the radio waves. But now the question is where the antenna is used and how the antenna is used. So for the answer for the first part is where the antenna is used. The answer is wireless communication systems. The antenna is used in wireless communication systems. To answer the second part of the question, how the antenna is used in wireless communication system. So in order to give the explanation for the second part of the question, so I am giving a transmitter receiver block diagrams of a wireless communication system. If you see the transmitter block diagram here, you already studied the analog communication systems. So in the you are very familiar with the transmitters and receivers block diagram. So in the transmitter side, we will be having a signal generator. That signal generator will generate a modulating signal, and we are also having a carrier signal generator. These modulating signal, that is original information, and this carrier signal, high frequency signal, we combine and then we perform a modulation by using modulator. This modulator may be anything. It may be amplitude modulation, frequency modulation, or phase modulation, or any digital modulation techniques also that you will be studying. You will be studied in the digital communication. Any modulation technique depends upon the application. So we perform the modulation by using the message signal and carrier signal. After performing this modulation, that modulated signal will be amplified by using an amplifier, will be amplified by using amplifier. That means we increase the signal strength, and then that amplified signal will be transferred or transported to the antenna that is connected at the end point of the transmitter via impedance matching network. This impedance matching network plays very critical role, because whatever the information we are having at the transmitter must reach completely to the antenna. So that happens only whenever we are having a proper impedance matching network. Then only the entire information we can transfer from the transmitter side to transmitting antenna. So the antenna that is connected at the transmitter, we call it as a transmitting antenna. This transmitting antenna will converts the electrical signals. At the input side of this transmitting antenna, you will be having the electrical signal, that is voltage and currents. So that electrical signal will be converted into electromagnetic signal or radio waves. That is called radiation. So once again I repeat, the antenna that is connected at the transmitter side of wireless communication system is called transmitting antenna. The input to this transmitting antenna is electrical signal, voltages and currents. That electrical signal will be converted into electromagnetic signals or radio waves by this transmitting antenna. So these input signals, we can also, the input signals of this transmitting antenna we can also call guided waves, and the output signal of this transmitting antenna we can also call free space waves, because the wave is in the free space. We call it as a free space wave. Okay, once again I repeat the operation of this transmitter in wireless communication. So in wireless communication transmitter, we will be having a modulator. For this modulator, the input signals are, one is the original information, that is modulating signal, and second signal is carrier signal. This modulator may be any modulator depending upon the applications. This modulator will perform the modulation, and then that modulated signal will be transferred to the amplifier. The amplifier will strengthen that signal and then the transmit to the antenna via impedance matching network. This impedance matching network plays very critical role, because this impedance matching network should be able to transfer the entire energy that is available at the amplifier, the entire energy to the antenna without any loss. If the impedance matching network is not properly designed, the information that is coming from the source will not be reached completely to the antenna. As a result, we will lose the information. This transmitting antenna will convert the electrical signal into electromagnetic waves or radio waves, or otherwise we can also tell like this: this transmitting antenna converts guided waves into free space waves. The input of this antenna is guided wave. Guided wave means, why we are calling it as a guided wave? Because the signal is coming in the guided structures, in the wires or wave guides, like that. We use some guided structure at the input side of this transmitting antenna. That's why we are calling the guided waves will be converted into free space waves. This antenna will convert guided waves into free space waves. Whereas coming to the receiver, this transmitting antenna radiated radio waves uh, travels through the free space. That radio waves will be captured or will be received by the antenna that is connected to the receiver block of wireless communication system. So this antenna that is connected at the receiver block of wireless communication system, what it will do? So it will convert the free space waves that are captured by this antenna, free space waves, into an electrical signal. Once again I repeat, the antenna that is connected to the receiver block is called receiving antenna. This receiving antenna will convert the free space waves into guided waves or electromagnetic waves into electrical signals. So that electrical signal will be amplified by using RF amplifier, and then down converted, frequency down converted by using the mixer. After that, we perform the demodulation technique, and then it will be given to the display unit or the speaker, the original destination point of receiver. Once again I repeat, the operation of the receiver block of wireless communication system. So the first element is receiving antenna. So this receiving antenna receives the radio waves or free space waves or electromagnetic waves transmitted by the transmitting antenna. It receives, and then it converts those received signals or received waves into electrical signals. That electrical signal will be amplified by RF amplifier, and then this RF amplified signal will be down converted or frequency down converted by using the mixer. So after that, we perform the demodulation. By performing the demodulation, we will extract the original information, that is modulating signal, and then it will be given to display unit or the speaker. So my intention here is to make you understand the how the antenna works when we use it at the transmitter side or when we use at the receiver side. So as I said earlier, in wireless communication systems, both at the transmitter side as well as receiver side. We use the antennas. The antenna that is used at the transmitter side, it converts the electrical signals into electromagnetic signals or guided waves into free space waves. The antenna that is used at the receiver side of the wireless communication receives the free space waves transmitted by the transmitting antenna and converts into guided waves, or it receives electromagnetic waves and converts them into electrical signals. I think it is very clear. Both transmitter as well as receiver of any wireless communication system must use antenna. The antenna connected at the transmitter, it converts the electrical signals into electromagnetic waves or guided waves into free space waves. The antenna that is connected to the receiver unit, that converts free space waves into guided waves or electromagnetic waves into electrical signals. So that is the point. Next, here we'll see the simplified diagram of the antenna system in transmitting mode. So if we see at the transmitting mode, here this rectangular box indicates the source. So after this source, we are having two wires. These two wires indicates the transmission line. So after that, here we are having a taped two-wire antenna. This one is a antenna. This one is the antenna. This antenna radiates the electric fields. These lines are electric field lines. These time varying electric field lines will produce time varying magnetic fields. As a result, in the free space, you will be having electromagnetic wave. Electromagnetic wave is nothing but electromagnetic wave consists both electric as well as magnetic fields. But the time varying electric field produce time varying magnetic field. Again, that magnetic field produce electric field. It repeats. So like that, the electromagnetic wave travels in the free space. That electromagnetic wave will be captured by the receiving antenna. This one is the receiving antenna. It captures and then it will be given to the receiving antenna. This box is the this one is the receiving antenna, transmission line, and then the destination point. So the Thevenin's equivalent of this transmitting antenna, here we can see the Thevenin's equivalent of antenna in transmitting mode. Here this antenna, this first unit, the first element or the first block of the transmitting antenna system is the source. Either it may be voltage source or current source. Here I am considering a voltage source. This source I am representing as Vg, and then the next element or the next block is transmission line. This transmission line I am representing with its characteristic impedance, that is Zg. After that, we are having antenna. These wires indicates the antenna, two-wire antenna. So this antenna I am representing using an impedance Za. This impedance Za consists RL plus RR plus JXA, where RL indicates the losses due to the conducting and dielectric materials, and R suffix R indicates the radiation resistance associated with the radiation, and this XA is the reactance that is associated with the radiation. So in the Thevenin's equivalent of the antenna at the in the transmitting mode, we represent the transmission line with its characteristic impedance Zg, and the antenna we are representing with an impedance Za. So in ideal case, this is the Thevenin's equivalent representation of the antenna in transmitting mode. In ideal case, what happens, so whatever the source generated signal, whatever the source generated signal that is generated by the source, that will be traveled through this transmission line, and it will be reached to antenna. But it will happen only whenever this ZA means the impedance of the antenna is perfectly matched with the transmission line impedance Zg. So according to the maximum power transfer theorem that you might have studied in the network theory. So according to the maximum power transfer theorem, the maximum energy from the source will be reached to the destination point only whenever the source impedance is complex conjugate of load impedance. That means the antenna impedance, that is ZA, must be complex conjugate of Zg. Then only the complete energy that is generated by this source will be reached to the antenna or the load. If there is any impedance mismatching, then what happens? If there is any impedance mismatching, there will be reflection from the antenna. Here the antenna we are representing with ZA. If ZA is not complex conjugate of Zg, then there will be reflections. So as a result, you will be having standing waves. I think you might have studied standing waves, incident waves, and reflected waves and standing waves. From this source, you will be having incident waves or constructing waves. Because of the impedance mismatching at the load, there will be reflected waves or destructive waves. As a result, in transmission line, there will be standing waves. There will be standing waves. That means if there is any impedance mismatching, then this transmission line will act as a energy storage device. Instead of transporting the energy from the source to destination or source to antenna, this transmission line will act as a energy storage device if there is any impedance mismatching. So this is not our desired thing. So while designing the antenna, we must take care of input impedance of the antenna. The proper design of antenna must be done. So the designing of an antenna will decide the accuracy of the complete transmitting system. If you design very good antenna with proper impedance matching, then it improves the system accuracy. If you design the antenna without any proper impedance matching, then that degrades the system accuracy. That is the thing we need to notice from this. Okay, I think it is very clear. Now let me take a small activity. So that is all of you, are you able to see a question on the screen? All of you, someone unmute yourself and speak. Someone.
Yes, sir.
Who is speaking? Who is speaking? Krishna Teja. Who is speaking?
Yes, sir. I am only, sir.
Krishna Teja, are you able to see the question on the screen?
Yes, sir.
So all of you read this question and try to answer. Post your answers in the chat box. An antenna is a device that in the transmitting mode, that means in transmitting mode means the antenna that is connected to the transmitter, it converts dash waves to dash waves. Someone unmute yourself and you can tell the answer. So I already told you the antenna we can connect or we use at both the transmitter side as well as receiver side. So the antenna that is connected at the transmitter side, it converts dash waves into dash waves. There are three options: traveling. In the first option, traveling and guided wave. In the second option, free space wave and traveling wave. The third option, guided wave and free space wave. Someone unmute yourself and try to answer.
So guided.
Guided
Wave to free space wave.
Guide. So the antenna that is connected to the transmitter, it converts. Who is that?
Guided waves.
Guided waves to free space waves. Right? Okay, that is right option. That the answer is C. So once again I repeat, this is very important, the fundamental thing in wireless communication systems. The both transmitter and receiver will use antenna. The antenna that is connected to the transmitter, it converts guided waves into free space waves, or we can also tell like this: it converts electrical signals into electromagnetic waves. So likewise, the antenna that is connected to the receiver, it what it will do? That is the second question. An antenna is a device. You can see on the screen the second question. An antenna is a device.
Free space to guided waves.
So that is connected to the receiver. It converts free space to guided
waves.
Yes. The right answer is C. I think it is very clear. So next, let us take the third question. Constructive and destructive interference pattern inside the transmission line. Transmission lines connected to the antennas formed by reflections from the impedance mismatch between the transmission lines and antennas are referred as. Please, all of you, read the question and post your answers in the chat box.
Standing wave.
Read the question and try to understand very clearly. So constructive and destructive interference patterns inside the transmission lines connected to
Standing wave.
The answer is standing waves. Okay, so let me clarify this question. So this is the one. Here we are having the source and this is the antenna. Here the antenna we are representing with its impedance ZA. If there is any impedance mismatching means if ZA is not equal to complex conjugate of ZG, then there will be constructive waves from the source to load, that is antenna, and destructive waves means reflections from the antenna to source. As a result, you will get the standing waves. Standing waves is nothing but the energy will be stored within this transmission line. The actual purpose of this transmission line is to carry the information from the source to destination. But here, if there is any impedance mismatching at the load, then what it will do? It will do, or it will act as a storage device, the energy storage device. That is not our desired thing. So we need to take much care while designing the antenna. So we need to take much care while designing the antenna. The antenna impedance should match with the transmission line characteristic impedance. Okay, so as a result, we can say the performance of this antenna will decide the entire system accuracy. The performance of, or the designing of this antenna will decide the entire system accuracy. Okay, so next we'll take the few things. What are the different types of antennas? So there are different type of the antennas. The first one is the wire antenna. So wire antenna means these antennas will be constructed with the conducting wires. The first one is the helical antenna. This one is the helix antenna or helical antenna, and second one is the dipole antenna, and third one is the loop antenna, because it is in the form of loop. This loop may be circular, rectangular, or square, anything. All these antennas are comes under the category of wire antenna, because all the antennas are constructed with the conducting material or conducting wires. Coming to the second type of antennas, the aperture antennas. These aperture antennas are horn antennas. So these are constructed with the waveguides. So about these waveguides, you will be studied in the microwave engineering subject that comes in the third year, second semester. Third type of the antenna is a microstrip antenna. This is the microstrip antenna. This is very important, because this type of antenna only we use in our mobile phones. So in our mobile phones, if you see, for receiving the mobile signals, we use one microstrip antenna. For for having the Bluetooth or Wi-Fi connection, we need one more antenna. In order to have the navigation, GPS services, we need to use one more antenna. All these antennas are microstrip antennas only. So in your mobile phone, what you are today you are using, that mobile phone will consist at least 3 to 4 antennas, each antenna for a different application. One antenna for receiving the mobile signal, one antenna for having the Bluetooth or Wi-Fi connections, one antenna for navigation services, that is GPS, GLONASS services, like that. All the antennas are comes under the microstrip antenna. Next type of antenna is the reflector antenna. Here you can see the reflector antenna. I think you might have seen this type of antennas. So this type of usually this type of antennas are used for long distance communications. For suppose in Dish TV connection, in Dish TV, Tata Sky, like that. If you want to have the connection from our house to satellites, then we use this type of antenna in order to receive the TV signals. These are the parabolic reflector antennas. One more example is satellite communications. So in order to have any communication from the earth to satellite, definitely we use this type of antennas only on the ground. Okay, you can also use these antennas for TV. You can see this type of antennas at the TV towers, TV broadcasting or radio broadcasting. These are the examples. These antennas are called reflector antennas, parabolic reflector antenna. Next type of antenna is the array antenna. So array antenna, here you can clearly see this array antenna is nothing but more than one antenna of similar kind. This is the microstrip antenna. The similar type of microstrip antennas. Hello? Hello?
Swami sir,
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 చెప్పండమ్మా.
sir, time sir, 11:45 sir.
Yes, yes. 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes, please.
Okay,
Because
sir.
we started late. 2 more minutes.
Okay, sir.
Okay, ma. Array antenna. So any array means array antenna always consists more than one antenna of similar type. Here you can see an array antenna which is constructed with the rectangular microstrips by using this rectangular microstrips. So this type of antennas we use for defense applications. So these are the different applications what we seen just now. If you see the applications of different antennas, so the antennas are used in microwave radio. So the monopole antennas are used for microwave radio. So coming to the monopole, helical antenna and microstrip antennas are used in cell phones. So in case of cell towers, we use dipole, monopole and microstrip array antennas. So in order to have the satellite communications and defense communications, we use horn antennas and helical antennas and parabolic reflector antennas. These are the different applications. So after that, we'll take one small question. All of you read this question. An aggregate of individual discrete radiating element in an electrical and geometrical arrangement is referred to as. All of you read the question carefully. An aggregate of individual discrete radiating elements in an electrical and geometrical arrangement is referred to as. That means arrangement of antennas in electrical or geometrical form is called arrays. So more than one antennas we use in arrays, that those antennas must be arranged in a proper way in terms of electrical and geometrical. So that is okay, ma, that is tomorrow I will discuss about the brief history of the antenna. So let me review very briefly within a minute what we covered today. So in the first part we covered the course structure. So in that course structure, we try to understand about the course overview, some information about the course, and then we have seen the course syllabus. After that, what are the textbooks needed for this particular subject, and what are the course outcomes. The course outcomes means what the student will be able to do after study of this particular subject. So and then coming to the second part, we have been studied, or we have been tried to understand the definition of the antenna. Here I have given the 3 definitions. So one is the general definition that was given in the initial days of the antenna, and then the definition that is given by the IEEE. After that, general definition, and then the symbol of the antenna. So next we've seen where the antennas are used and how the antenna is used. So the answer to the first part of the question is the antennas are used in wireless communication systems, and how it is used means both in transmitter side as well as receiver side we use the antennas. So after that, we have taken antenna system at the transmitting end, and then we have given the Thevenin's equivalent of that particular transmitting antenna system. So from that we understand that the design of an antenna must be done very properly, if there is any improper design that degrades the complete transmitting unit accuracy or complete transmitter accuracy. Then we have seen the different types of antennas briefly: wire antennas, aperture antennas, microstrip antennas, reflector antennas, and array antennas. After that, we have seen the applications where we use the antennas in microwave radios, cell phones, cell towers, satellite, and defense communications. These are the few applications. There are many more applications. So tomorrow we'll try to understand how the antenna radiates, the radiation mechanism by taking two examples. We'll see tomorrow radiation mechanism of an antenna. Thank you, students. Thank you very much. Thank you. We'll meet tomorrow.